So the origins of the word picnic, coming right up. What's up YouTube? Welcome back for more Common Sense Logic and Reason, and as always, thank y'all for joining me in this video. Now, I always talk about the left and how they are known for lacking any integrity. They will tell lies at the drop of a hat. Lies have truth. It doesn't matter. They will do whatever it takes to push their agenda, and oftentimes they have to do all this because, well, all the time, it's because they don't have the real evidence to back their argument up. And when you don't have real evidence, you have to make it up. And it's what the left does. And I always say, there's this old saying, there's lies, damn lies in statistics. Well, I say that there are lies, damn lies in leftists. And they lie all the time. You can't. No one can say, "Well, no, you're wrong." They don't tell lies. They don't make up things because that's what they do. Now, one of the tactics that they often use is that they will build. They will take some circumstantial evidence and they just build an entire doctrine around. Like the gender pay gap. That's a perfect example of this. Now, the race hustlers, they are no different. And they will say, well, we not with the left because it's all white supremacy. But in reality, they do exactly the same thing that the left do. So birds of a feather flock together. They will build these doctrines around a whole bunch of nonsense, and most often the time, it's a bunch of irrelevant, ridiculous nonsense. It's all irrelevant. Now, a perfect example of blacks building doctrines out of nonsense would be Tariq Nigga Please. Now, you're familiar with him, and he make these fake documentaries, these niggamentaries, hidden colors that he called hidden colors, and these colors so cleverly hidden, but he found them, right? Now, one of his videos, he talks about ancient Japanese culture and ancient Japanese art and depictions of their culture through the art, which most cultures did. And some of the depictions, you'll find different characters. There'll be dark-skinned characters or a dark-skinned character, and they'll assume, well, this is a black person, right? Now, as a result of that dark-skinned character, black people now are responsible for all of Japanese culture. Black people created the samurais and the ninjas, right? And I'm guessing the word ninja must be derived from the word nigger, if they tell it. But anyway, let's completely ignore the blue characters that's depicted, depiction of the blue characters. Let's ignore the green characters, right? Let's ignore the yellow characters. Let's ignore all the depictions of dragons in ancient Japanese art culture. Let's just focus on that black character, and as a result of that black character, we created all of Japanese culture, right? Another perfect example of this nonsense is, those old Victorian style dresses where those women would wear those big dresses, right? Just floor over them. They would have these little frame under the dresses to keep the dresses floored out. And a lot of their clothing back then would flow out from the hips and the rear. And supposedly, this is to symbolize black women's hips and ass, black women's figures. And for some reason, black women, or they say that black women were reviled for their beauties, right? And this was white women's attempts to imitate black women's figures, as if only black women have curvy shapes, right? Now, let's say that this story was true, and I couldn't tell you because I wouldn't waste my time looking up this nonsense. But let's say that this story was true, and that these dresses and that clothing was basically designed to imitate black women's figures. What exactly is that relevant of? What single black person in the year 2019, as I'm making this video, is being held back from achieving their goals in life because of clothing that imitated black female figures? I mean, how exactly is that black high school senior that wants to be an engineer, how exactly is that black high school senior being held back from being an engineer because of clothing that imitates black women's hips and ass? I mean, really, absolute utter nonsense. Now, another example of just black people just making nothing out of nothing, something out of nothing. And the reason for this video is the origins of the word picnic. Now, we are told by the race hustlers that the origins of the word picnic is of white people, these racist white folks in the racist South, just picking a nigga and lynching him, right? Any nigga, any random nigga, it could be a nigga just walking down the street minding his own business, you know, a nigga sitting on a porch eating chicken and watermelon, right? They just pick any random nigga and they lynch him and they celebrate around that lynching. This is what we're told the origins of picnic is. And well, the circumstantial nonsense of this is, I'm guessing the word pick could be pick something or pick up something, and the word nick could be nigga. Thus, we have a doctrine. Yeah, they just pick niggas, right? Now, is that the origins of the word picnic? That could be no further from the truth. That is a lie, a goddamn lie. So, what is the origins of the word picnic? Well, it's based in two words, French and Germanic origin. Now, the French word pick just simply means, as I looked it up, just means to eat lightly or to, peck at your food. You know that old saying, if this, someone pecks like a bird or they eat like a bird, that just simply means that the person doesn't eat much, they eat lightly. Now the word nick, which is Germanic in origin, just simply means worthless or not worth much. And when you put them together, it makes sense. For instance, if someone's eating light or they pack a lunch to go, you're not going to pack no heavy meal. You need to pack something that's going to be easy to transport. You're not going to pack a 3-course heavy meal. It's generally going to be something light. And if you pack a light meal, it won't be very expensive. It's not going to be in a very expensive meal. So it just makes sense of picnic. Now, obviously, picnics have become elaborate, family reunions and such. But that is the real origins of the word picnic. It has nothing to do with picking no nigga. So why would these race hustlers make up this nonsense and keep black people angry and enraged about a lie? Well, because that's what race hustlers do. Okay, they peddle race. It's kind of like Ice-T's character in New Jack City. He said that drug dealers, they buy and sell drugs. That's what they do. Or the scorpion, and that the scorpion in the frog parable of the scorpion stings the frog when they were halfway across the river and they drowned. And the scorpion stung the frog because, that's what scorpions do. Race hustlers, they make profit off of hustling race and keeping black folks angry and enraged about race. So that's why they do this nonsense. Now, what the thing that really gets me though is that these blacks, they're sitting here crying about quote unquote white people picking a nigga in the past. They cry about that's what it meant, right? But who's picking niggas today? Niggas. So they're more concerned about the quote unquote white people who picked niggas in the past, but they're completely ignoring the blacks, all these black people who are being picked by niggas today. And this is why I always say, about black people, we just will never get anywhere in this country as long as we keep crying and being victims. And because as long as we keep focused on being victims and crying, that means that we're not focused on fixing the problems in the black community, that being the destruction of the black family. And we keep crying about white man is white supremacy, racism everywhere, but not the black man. We never look at the black man, which is ridiculous. Now, what black people really need to do is somebody needs to pick the nigga that came up with this foolishness and pick these damn race hustlers that's keeping black folks bamboozled, run amok, led astray, as Malcolm X said. Deal with these fools, because they're the ones that's keeping black folks stupid and stuck on ignorance and stupidity. But anyway, If you ever hear anybody say, regardless, black, white, whoever, anybody tell that lie about the word picnic means pick a nigga, well, now you know, and knowing this half the battle. You know the truth, and you are equipped with the information and knowledge to destroy that nonsense. And that's why I make these videos. But anyway, y'all, as always, until next time.